Welcome to this new endeavor that I'm calling Tubiween. For all 31 days of October, I was going to call it Halloween, but for all 31 days of Halloween, I will be watching one random horror movie that I find on Tubi and talking about it here with you for the next 31 days. 31 movies, 31 days, a new day, and new video talking about a movie. Hopefully. Why did I decide to do this? This series is very loosely inspired by James Rolfe's Monster Madness, the Cinemasacre Monster Madness thing. While I will not be attempting to do the exact same thing, because James is much better and more talented and had more time planning this, I'm sure, than I did, this came to me halfway through September, so I had to, So we're gonna try to get this moving. I will say it's loosely inspired by. I don't have a whole lot of notes. I just have some stuff that I wanted to make sure I said while I just kind of talk about whatever. For 31 days, that's what we're going to do. 31 movies, 31 days. Every single movie that I watch was at the very least available on Tubi at the time that I wanted to watch it. So if it's not there now, I'm sorry. I don't know. They changed their catalog. It's a free streaming service and whatever. And also, this is not a sponsored thing. I'm not selling out yet. Tubi, if you're interested. There is, in fact, a skinny white guy who would love to shell out for Tubi, because I love it. But with all that said, we're going to get into our first movie, which is Dolls. Not every video is going to have a long intro like this. Pretty much after this one, I'm just going to try to bleed right into the next, and it's just going to go. But anyway, Dolls! Dolls is directed by Stuart Gordon, who directed Reanimator and From Beyond. And if you've seen Reanimator and From Beyond, you might have some expectations for what Dolls are. But take those expectations and just kind of like pull that shit down in here, because it's not that, but it's also kind of good that it's not that, because the main character is a child. So, Dolls being directed by Stuart Gordon, it is also produced by Charles Band under Empire Pictures at the time. I believe this was the tail end or like the latter half of Empire Pictures being a thing, because eventually Empire Pictures, I think it was Robot Jocks, it could have been something else, but it basically bankrupted them and Charles Band owed people money, so he had to quickly form a new studio, which is now known as Full Moon. And at the time, he had partnered with Paramount to just basically make horror movies or movies in general and just ship them right to Blockbuster or whatever, direct-to-video movies. It's basically what he was making, and that all started with Puppet Master, which Dolls is kind of, sort of, loosely a precursor to. Not really, apart from the fact that there are tiny little critters that kill people, and Puppet Master has tiny little critters that kill people. So the similarities are, but no, I have a soft spot for the Puppet Master series. I will say that I like them. They're not good movies. None of them really are. But I have a soft spot for most of them. So I was very interested to see Dolls. Dolls also has Ed Naha, who wrote the film. I hope I'm saying that name right. I have tried to say that like 4 times, and that's the best way I can think that it's said. But Ed Naha wrote the film. He also ended up writing Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. As you do. We also have the incredible talent of David Allen doing the stop motion. David Allen, I believe, had won an Oscar for something. I'll put it on screen. David Allen, I believe, either was nominated and or won an Oscar for something, and then was friends with Charles Band, so he would just do the effects for these movies because he wanted to just do more stop motion and effects work. And assumedly, he was getting paid like way less than he could just because he just wanted to do this so badly. Side tangent on David Allen, because I don't think this is cataloged as a horror movie, so I'm not going to be talking about it this month. But he, at Full Moon, had been trying to make a movie called The Prime Evils, and I think midway through production, he passed away. So he never got to finish The Prime Evils. But 2024, I want to say, 2023, 2024, Charles Band was actually able to get most of David Allen's crew from back in the day back together to finish the movie in the exact way that David Allen would have wanted it done. So there's not like weird insert, like I'm thinking it's either Grizzly Man 2 or Grizzly 2, one of those, where it's like an unfinished movie from the 80s that they just added like digital camera on top of, in the middle of like film shots, and it's like a disgusting mess. This one's done all like basically trying to pick up the slack from where it stopped production to modern times, but keeping it in the style of 30, 40 years ago, which is admirable. And that is also on Tubi, and it's done. So unfortunately, David Allen did not live long enough to see his dream project get finished, but at the very least, it is finished, and finished in the way that he would have wanted it to be. That's my David Allen side tangent. Sorry. During the opening credits, I saw Guy Rolfe was in this, and I kept looking at that name, and I was like, why do I know that name? I know that name from something. Why do I know? I looked him up after the movie. He was in a bunch of like westerns and shit, which, yeehaw. What I knew him from, once again, is he played Andre Toulon in Puppet Master 4, 5, and I believe Retro Puppet Master. It has been too long since I've seen Retro Puppet Master, and I really don't want to rewatch it just to find out. So I'm going to say that he's in it, but I'm probably wrong. So that's where I knew him from. Not any of his like actual work. No, I knew him from Puppet Master. The film's basic plot is a divorced father and his bitchy girlfriend, mistress, whatever she is, are driving somewhere. I forget where. They're going on like vacation or whatever, and they're in talks of like ditching the child somewhere. Like they just don't want her there, which is crazy to me because at some point the bitchy woman makes like a comment about how the dad won her in the settlement during the divorce, which to me implies like, how fucking bad was the mom if this guy ended up with her? Which that's never touched on. When the movie ends, she's going back to, I want to say Boston, but I'm probably wrong. She's going back to wherever to go back to live with her mom. So I'm hoping that there was just some weird corruption happening. I don't know. But they're driving somewhere. Rainstorm comes, car gets stuck in a big thing of mud. And so they go take shelter in this mansion that's just in the woods. While they're there, they meet the owners of the house, which are an old couple, one played by Guy Rolfe and other as Lady, and they're toy makers. Well, at least the husband is a toy maker, and there's dolls all over this fucking house. They're staying the night, and as they're staying the night, 3 more lost souls come wandering in because they got stuck as well. And long story short is eventually weird things start happening, people start dying off, and the entire theme of the movie is kind of like, it's okay to keep your childlike sense of wonder and still be an adult while these dolls are killing people, but they only specifically kill people who just have like nothing for them other than they're terrible, bad people. It's kind of interesting, and I really like the theme of like, I really like the theme of it being like, it's okay to grow up and become an adult, but just never forget what made you like happy as a kid or what gave you whatever. It's interesting. I will say the stop motion effects on the dolls are very fun. I'm a big fan of stop motion. I wish we did it more, and they're great. The kills are not as graphic as you would expect from somebody who directed Reanimator and From Beyond. It's also not as perverted as somebody you'd expect who directed Reanimator and From Beyond, but again, that's probably a good thing. I will also say it's produced by Brian Yuzna, who Brian Yuzna directed Faust and my soft spot personal favorite zombie movie, Return of the Living Dead 3, and both of those movies are full of goop. The blood is disgusting, and any sort of body liquid is just gross in those movies, and I feel like Brian Yuzna has this eye for shit just looking nasty. And some of that's there. I'm distinctly thinking of like when there's a girl who gets like her head rammed into a wall over and over, and the blood that's on the wall is like noticeably chunky, which is like an odd choice. But no, I really like dolls a lot more than I had expected to. So with that, I'm gonna say I would recommend it to basically anybody. Just give it some time. It takes a little bit for the dolls to start really showing their thing, but about the halfway point, that's when it kind of goes off the walls. And I liked it a lot. And I'm going to try and do my best to give these movies ratings. I'm going to go off of the Letterboxd 1 out of 5 star scoring rating. That's what I use to catalog movies, and it just makes sense to just carry that over here. So I'm giving Dolls a solid 3.5 out of 5. Also, my rating system, don't look at this as like I'm rating this as, I don't want to say a real movie, but like there's a different thing when I'm like watching an art movie or something of a higher caliber. I will rate things for that scale, and then if I'm watching schlock, I'm rating the schlock on how much I enjoyed it on the schlockometer, which is the same scale, but I'm rating it differently. So when you see Dolls at a 3.5 and then, like, I don't know, some other movie that people freaking adore at 3.5, they're not the same level, but I probably enjoyed them about the same. So, but yeah, I'm giving this one a solid 3.5 for on the schlockometer. Let's just call it that. It's the schlockometer. 3.5, because none of these movies are going to be good. Unless I watch something that eclipses it, I'll let you know if this is like actually a good movie. But on the schlockometer, 3.5. I think that that's fair. Anyway, tune in tomorrow for our first modern horror movie from, I believe, 2020. Yay!